I am Usha Pathak. Elders, please accept my respect and love to youngers. Today, I want to say something about prepositional phrases made with adjectives and participle. Abandoned to his fate, absorbed in study, acceptable to a person, accomplished in an art, accountable to a person, accountable for a thing, accurate in his statics, accused of a crime, accustomed to writing, acquainted with a person or thing, acquitted of a charge, adapted to his taste, adapted for an occupation, addicted to bad habits, adequate to his wants, affectionate to a person, afflicted with rheumatism, afraid of death, agreeable to his wishes, alarmed at a rumor, aligned to his character, alienated from a friend, alive to the consequences, allied to a thing, amazed at anything, ambitions of distinction, angry at a thing, angry with a person, annoyed at a thing, annoyed with a person, answerable to a person, anxious for his safety, anxious about the result, applicable to a case, appropriate to an occasion, ashamed of his dullness, associated with a person, associated in some business, assured of the truth, astonished at his rudeness, averse to hard work, aware of his intention, backward in mathematics, based on sound principles, bent on doing something, beset with difficulties, betrayed to the enemy, blessed with good health, blessed in his children, blind to his own fault, blind in one eye, boastful of his wealth, born of rich parent, born in England, bought of a person, bound in hour, bound by a contract, busy with or at his leisure, capable of improvement, careful of his money, careful about his dress, cautious of giving advice, certain of success, characterized by a thing, characteristic of a person, charged to his account, clear of blame, close to a person or thing, clothed in purple, committed to a course, common to several person or thing, comparable to something else, component for certain work, competent for anything, composed of a material, concerned at or about some mishap, condemned to death, conducive to success, confined of success, congratulation on his success, conscious of a fault, contrary to rule, contrasted with something, convenient with anything, convicted of a crime, convinced of a fact, covetous of other men's good, credible to his judgment, cured of a disease, customary of a person, deaf to entreaties, defeated in battle, defective in point of style, deficient in energy, delighted with success, dependent on a person or thing, deprived of some good thing, deserving of praise, designed for a purpose, desirous of success, destined for the bar, destitute of money, determined on doing a thing, detrimental to death, devoid of foundation, different from something else, diffident of success, diligent in business, disappointed of a thing or not obtained, disguised with a thing, disgusted at or with a person, dismayed at a result, distinct from something else, distracted with pain, distrustful of a man's motive, doubtful or dubious of success due to some cause, dull of understanding, eager for distinction, eager in the pursuit of knowledge, earnest in his endeavor, easy of success, educated in the law, educated for the bar, effective for a purpose, eligible for employment, eminent for his learning, employed in gardening, empty of its contents, entered to all men, endowed with natural ability, engaged to some person, engaged in some business, engraved on the memory, enlarged at something done, enveloped in mist, equal to the occasion, essential to happiness, exclusive of certain items, exempted or exempt from a fine, exhausted with labor, exposed to danger, expressive of his feeling, faithful to a master, false of heart, false to his friend, familiar with a language, famous for his learning, fascinated with or by a person or thing, fatal to his prospects, fatigued with traveling, favorable to his projects, favorable for action, fearful of consequences, fertile in resources, fit for a position, flushed with victory, fond of music, foreign to the purpose, founded on fact, fraught with danger, free from blame, fruitless of result, full of person or thing, gifted with abilities, glad of his assistance, glad at a result, good for nothing, good at cricket, grateful for past kindness, greedy of or after or for riches, guilty of theft, healing of a disease, heedless of consequences, held in high esteem, honest in his dealings, honored with your friendship, hopeful of success, horrified at the sight, hostile to my endeavors, hateful to anything, hurtful to health, identical with anything, ignorant of English, ill with fever, imbued with confidence, immersed in water, imperative on a person, inclined to laziness, inclusive of extras, incumbent on a person, indebted to a person, independent of his parents, indifferent to hurt or cold, indignant at something done, indignant with a person, indulgent to his children, infected with smallpox, infected with rats, inflicted on a person, informed of a fact, inimical to a person, innocent of a charge, inspired with hope, intent on his studies, intimate with a person, introduced to a person, introduced into a place, invested with full powers, involved in difficulties, irrelevant to the question, jealous of his reputation, lame in one leg, lavish of money, lavish in his expenditure, lax in his mortal, level with the ground, liable to error, liable for payment, liberal of his advice, limited to certain area, lost to all sense of shame, loyal to the government, mad with disappointment, made for a teacher, made of iron, meet for a rich man, mindful of his promise, mistaken for a traveler, mistaken in a belief, moved to tears, moved with pity, moved at the sight, moved by entreaties, natural to a person, necessary to happiness, neglectful of his interest, negligent of duty, negligent in his work, notorious for his misdeeds, obedient to parents, obligatory on a person, obliged to a person, obliged for some kindness, obstinate in his resistance, occupied with some work, occupied in reading a book, offended with a person, offended at something done, offensive to a person, open to flattery, opposed to fact, overcome with sorrow, overwhelmed with grief, painful to one's feeling, parallel to or with anything, partial to the youngest son, patient of suffering, peculiar to a person or thing, polite in manner, polite to a stranger, poor in spirit, popular with schoolfellow, popular for his pluck, possessed of wealth, possessed with a notion, precious to a person, preeminent above the rest, preferable to something else, prejudicial to his interest, prepared for the worst, previous to some event, productive of wealth, proficient in mathematics, profitable to an investor, profuse with his money, profuse in his offers, prone to idleness, proper for or to the occasion, proud of his position, quick of understanding, qualified for teaching music, quick at mathematics, radiant with a smile, ready for action, ready in his answers, reconciled to a position, reduced to poverty, regardless of consequences, related to a person, relative to a question, relevant to the point, remiss in his duties, remote from one's intentions, repentant of his sin, repulsive to his feeling, resolved into its element, respectful to or towards one's superior, responsible to a person, responsible for his action, restricted in means ability, rich in house property, right of travel, sacred to a man's memory, secure from harm, satisfied with his income, satisfactory to a person, sensible of kindness, sensitive to blame, serviceable to a person, shocked at your behavior, shocking to everyone, short of money, silent about or on a subject, similar to a person or thing, skillful in doing a thing, slow of speech, sorry for someone, sparing of praise, stained with crimes, steeped in vice, strange to a person, subject to authority, subordinate to a person, sufficient for a purpose, suited to the occasion, suited for a post, sure of success, suspicious of his intentions, sympathetic with sufferer, temperate in his habit, thankful for past favors, tired of doing nothing, tired with his exertions, true to his conviction, uneasy about consequences, useful for a certain purpose, vain of his appearance, vested in a person, vexed with a person for doing something, victorious over difficulties, wide of meaning, wanting in common sense, wary of telling secret, weak of understanding, weak in his head, weary of doing nothing, welcome to my house, worthy of praise, jealous for improvement, jealous in a cause. Please subscribe my channel, like and share with your friends.